Take a moment right now to slow yourself down and breathe calmly. Put aside the noise inside your mind for a little while and softly bring your attention back to what you have truly been feeling deep within, beneath everything else. You may have noticed something recently that feels difficult to explain with simple words. There is a pressure that suddenly appears in your chest without any clear reason. A certain memory of a specific person may come into your mind unexpectedly. There is also a restless, almost electric feeling that quietly moves beneath the surface of your normal everyday life. That feeling is not meaningless, and it is not just something created by your imagination. It is a sign that something is happening. Energy is moving in your direction at this very moment, and your deeper self is becoming aware of it even before your thoughts are able to fully understand what is taking place. Your inner self understands things on a level that goes much deeper than ordinary conversations or simple messages. It notices small details and changes that happen faster than anything you can see in the outside world. This is why you may sense that something is changing with this person before there is any obvious proof or clear action from them. That gentle pull inside your heart, the one you sometimes ignore as simple hope or imagination, may actually be your inner guidance reminding you that this connection still has important experiences waiting ahead. If you have been feeling that sudden pressure in your chest or a strong pull towards someone, show your support right now. This is often how these moments begin. Before a major change becomes visible in the physical world, a quiet feeling of pressure starts forming inside you. It feels like an invisible energy building up, something you notice even though you cannot completely explain it. That is exactly the kind of moment you may be experiencing right now. Small openings are appearing where there was once only silence. New possibilities are beginning to form where everything once looked blocked. Your place in this person's life has not vanished in the way you may have feared. While you were facing your own doubts and trying to understand the uncertainty, something was quietly transforming within them. The emotional barriers they created around their heart because of fear, pride, and the need to remain in control have slowly started to weaken. The strong feeling you have been noticing lately exists because they are beginning to carry emotions they can no longer completely hide. The truth inside them is rising toward awareness, whether they feel prepared for it or not. The connection between you reaches beyond ordinary thoughts and simple explanations. It is not something that time or distance can easily erase on its own. To understand why this shift is happening now and why the upcoming days may feel noticeably different, it helps to look at what this person has actually been experiencing during the quiet period between you. They have been moving carefully, maintaining distance while still paying attention from afar. They were stuck between their own uncomfortable fears and a powerful attraction toward you that they tried hard to convince themselves was not there. Comment if you have been feeling their energy recently, even without any direct communication. During the time apart, they filled their days with things that appeared normal from the outside. They seemed peaceful and in control, like someone who had accepted everything and created a new routine. But that appearance was only a protective layer. It was a version of themselves they showed to others and even used to convince their own mind that stepping away was the right choice. As more time passed, carrying that image became harder. Beneath the surface, a quiet, emotional battle was happening that the people around them could not recognize. Night after night, they faced feelings they could not easily escape. They used logic to explain the separation and told themselves that distance was the safer and more sensible direction to take. Some of it came from pride, some from fear, and some from not knowing how to deal with emotions that felt too powerful to handle. This kind of situation happens more often than many people realize. Sometimes someone creates distance, not because they do not care, but because they care more deeply than they know how to accept. Being completely understood by another person can feel uncomfortable in the beginning. It can awaken fears about losing control, becoming vulnerable, or experiencing pain again. But when two people share a connection that reaches a deeper level, eventually even the strongest explanations and excuses begin to lose their power. Slowly, the walls they had built around themselves began to fall apart. As those walls became weaker, they started noticing that life without you felt different. Something important seemed missing, something they could not easily describe or replace. A new understanding began growing inside them. They started seeing that the careful and controlled version of themselves they had been showing was not their complete truth. It was only a role they had created, and that role no longer felt natural. Every effort they made to move farther away and create more separation was quietly interrupted by something that kept bringing their thoughts back to you. It was not only about missing someone in an ordinary way. It touched a deeper part of their identity and their understanding of themselves. It became a powerful moment of realization, almost like a personal awakening. There were moments when they tried to hide these emotions by filling their life with activity, conversations, distractions, and constant movement. But even during those moments, comparisons continued appearing. Thoughts they would never openly share kept returning back to you. Everything was building silently beneath the surface and creating the change you are beginning to notice now. Something is moving. And this time, it does not seem to have the same simple escapes that the old distractions once provided. Take a moment right now to slow yourself down and breathe calmly. Put aside all the noise and thoughts in your mind for a little while and gently turn your attention inward toward what you have truly been feeling deep inside beneath everything else. You may have recently noticed something that is hard to explain with ordinary words. There is a certain heaviness or tight feeling that appears in your chest without any clear reason. A sudden memory of a particular person may come into your mind unexpectedly. There is also a restless, almost electric feeling that quietly moves beneath the surface of your normal daily life. That feeling is not meaningless, and it is not just something you are creating in your imagination. It is a sign that something is moving. Energy is being directed toward you at this very moment, and your deeper self is recognizing it even before your conscious mind has the chance to fully understand what is happening. Your inner being works on a level that reaches far beyond simple conversations or outside messages. It notices small details and feelings that often move faster than anything visible in the physical world. This is why you may sense that something is changing with this person before any obvious sign appears. That gentle pull inside your chest, the feeling you may have ignored as simple hope or imagination, could actually be your inner guidance, showing you that this connection still has meaningful moments waiting ahead. If you have been feeling that sudden pressure in your chest or a strong pull towards someone, leave a like right now. This is often the way these situations begin. Before a major change becomes visible in the outside world, a quiet feeling starts to grow within you. It can feel like a hidden emotional tension that you notice even though you cannot fully explain it. That is exactly where you may find yourself right now. Small openings are beginning to appear in places that once felt completely silent. New possibilities are forming where there once seemed to be nothing but closed doors. Your importance in this person's life has not vanished in the way you may have feared. While you were handling your own doubts and trying to live through uncertainty, something was quietly transforming inside them. The emotional barriers they created around their heart, because of fear, pride, and the need to remain in control, have slowly started to weaken. The strong feeling you have noticed recently exists because they are beginning to carry emotions they can no longer easily hide. The truth inside them is coming forward, whether they are prepared to accept it or not. The connection between you is deeper than ordinary thoughts can explain. It is not something that time or physical distance can simply erase. To understand why this shift is happening now and why the days ahead may feel different, it helps to look at what this person has actually experienced during the quiet period between you. They have been moving carefully, keeping some distance while still paying attention from afar. They were stuck between their own fears and a powerful feeling drawing them back towards you, something they tried hard to deny. Comment pull if you have been noticing their energy lately, even without any direct communication. During the time apart, they kept themselves occupied with different activities that looked normal from the outside. They appeared peaceful and in control, like someone who had accepted everything and created a new routine. But that appearance was only a shield. It was a way they protected themselves, even from their own feelings, so they could continue believing that stepping away was the right choice. As more time passed, carrying that image became harder. Beneath the surface, a quiet emotional battle was happening that the people around them could not see. Night after night, they faced feelings they could not easily ignore. They used logic to explain the distance and convinced themselves that staying away was the safer and more sensible option. Some of it came from pride, some from fear, and some from not knowing how to handle emotions that felt too powerful to control. This happens more often than many people realize. Sometimes someone creates distance not because they feel nothing, but because they feel something too deeply. Allowing another person to truly see you can feel uncomfortable at first. It can awaken fears about losing control or experiencing pain again. But when two people share a meaningful connection, even the strongest reasons eventually begin to lose their power. Slowly, the walls they had built around themselves began to fall apart. As those walls weakened, they started realizing that life without you felt different. Something important seemed missing, something they could not easily describe or replace. A new understanding began growing inside them. They started seeing that the guarded version of themselves they had been showing was not their complete truth. It was only a role they had created, and it no longer felt natural. Every attempt they made to move forward and create more distance between you was quietly interrupted by something that kept returning their thoughts to you. It was not simply the normal feeling of missing someone. It reached something deeper, something connected to their own identity and emotions. For them, it became a moment of realization, almost like a personal awakening. There were moments when they tried to hide those emotions by filling their time with activities, people, and endless distractions. But even during those moments, comparisons continued to appear. Thoughts they would never openly express kept finding their way back to you. Everything was building quietly beneath the surface and creating the change you are beginning to feel now. Something is moving, and this time it does not seem to have the same easy escape routes that old distractions once provided. Distance has a way of revealing emotional patterns that cannot be ignored. It shows where fear exists inside a person and where someone may have been losing themselves while searching for love. It also makes it clear what each person becomes when they are standing completely on their own. This time apart changed both of you, but it changed you in different ways. It helped you discover your own value again without needing their approval to prove it. It allowed them to experience life without your unique energy being present. That is why what you are feeling now holds so much importance. Things that were hidden beneath avoidance are now rising to the surface. This person is beginning to understand that they do not simply miss your attention. They miss your energy, your emotional depth, and the special feeling they had when they were close to you. They miss the feeling of being truly understood without having to explain every single thing. That realization has become strong enough that they cannot easily ignore it anymore. What they are experiencing is not just a temporary emotion or a few difficult moments. It has become something consistent that follows them through daily life, whether they accept it or try to push it away. There are moments when they are doing something completely normal, and suddenly a memory of you captures their entire focus. A sound, a scent, a certain phrase, or a specific time of day begins to remind them of you. In the beginning, these moments made them uncomfortable because they wanted to believe they had full control over their thoughts and feelings. They wanted to choose exactly when you appeared in their mind and when you did not. But deep emotional connections do not work according to those rules. The stronger the bond, the more naturally it returns on its own. They are now reaching a point where resisting this connection requires more energy than accepting it. The walls they created for protection have started to feel more like loneliness instead of safety. The silence they once believed they needed has slowly become heavy and difficult to carry. It has forced them into deeper reflection. From that place, they are looking back at the past with a different perspective. They remember the times when you tried to understand them while they remained emotionally closed. They remember moments when you showed patience that they did not fully value at the time. Those memories now have a different meaning because they can finally recognize what you were giving them. Real love can feel normal when it is present every day. People do not always recognize its true value until it is no longer around. This person is now starting to see how rare what you offered really was. The honesty, the emotional depth, the stability, and the comfort of being with someone who allowed them to be their true self. They have searched for parts of that feeling in other places and continued to come up empty. That only makes your importance stand out even more. There were nights when they tried to completely move forward, only to find their thoughts returning to you before the night ended. If you have been receiving strong signs from the universe about this person, comment "inner compass" below. There were moments when they tried to break the emotional connection but felt an even stronger pull afterward. Every attempt to escape the bond only made them more aware of it instead of making it disappear. This happens because what existed between you was never only something on the surface. Something within them recognized something real within you. A connection like that does not simply disappear because someone decides it should. This change in understanding has shifted your energy in a powerful way. Whether they admit it openly or not, they can feel the difference. They notice that you are no longer chasing them emotionally like you once did. They see that you have become more peaceful within yourself, less anxious, and less dependent on their responses for your own emotional balance. Strangely, that is exactly what has increased their awareness of you even more. When someone stops trying to force love and returns their focus back to themselves, their energy changes. You became calmer. In that calmness, they were finally left alone with the full strength of their own emotions without the distraction of your previous efforts. Their thoughts continue returning to this connection. Their feelings no longer allow them to stay comfortably away from the truth. The truth is becoming harder to deny. You matter to them, not in a simple or casual way, but in a way that has changed how they understand closeness and emotional connection.